Okay, so to start with language this week, on Monday, we're going to look at rewriting the story of the Three Little Pigs and kind of connecting it because it will be tying in with our structures. So really trying to look at how to formulate the ideas, but also how to put them together so that it makes sense. And thought maybe we could do it, I might model it a bit like a song to see if the students can put it together so that it has a little bit of a beat. Which will also work with some of our music in terms of trying to get it to sound like it has a beat. So then on Tuesday, we're going to be building houses on Wednesday. So they're going to need to do the blueprint for their houses so that they've got a plan and label the details, as well as make a list of the materials used so that everything can go together to actually create the house so that we can then build them, work on them, test them, and make changes to them. So then on Wednesday, as before the students actually start to create, I thought we could go outside and look at some photographs of different structures and then work on adding some description when they get back. I really want to get into the idea of adjectives describing words. So see what they can do in terms of adding in descriptive words to describe the structures, but then also look at how structures go together. And then on Thursday, this is when we're going to be having our visitors, looking at some questions and wonders, and it will tie into actually a structures activity later, but I would like them to also use resources to help with spelling. So if words are on word walls, then the students are using them just like if they're up around the classroom. And then on Friday, looking at adding some dialogue to the Three Little Pigs story that we will have been working on. What might the characters say? How could they continue their conversation? Maybe even turn it into like a little bit of a comic strip, and then we can put that together because we are going to be presenting like a little play version of the Three Little Pigs. Okay, so I forgot to record, so we'll do it again. So on Monday, it's when we'll be doing our math talk, and we were going to look at a picture of a structure, but then I found this great resource with shapes that I think will work even better. So we're going to do the one with the shapes instead, and then they'll be able to identify then the shapes and 3D figures and properties in the structures that they built. And this is when I'm going to give them some instructions as well. So then on Tuesday, we've got the Three Little Pigs Meet the Big Bad Blow Dryer, and they're going to construct and reflect. For some reason, I thought that was Wednesday, but then I remembered what I was doing. So after they've actually planned it out, then they'll get a chance to create it. And then on Wednesday is the tower building, which is why we were going to go look at the different structures in the morning. And there'll be some challenges in terms of building structures with just specific 3D figures to get them to see about the properties of those figures and what's possible and what's not possible. And yeah, really narrowing in on the properties of those figures. So then on Thursday, we're going to have the book challenge to create a structure that will hold up a certain number of books. It'll also work in some counting, which the students can still continue to work on. And I'm going to use the eggs for this day as the provocation to show how it can help support support different items. And then on Friday, the students are going to have to create structures for our drama play for the Three Little Pigs. They're going to need to make sure that they're a certain height and label the figures and the shapes that are present, so it will give them a chance to actually work on a little bit more of the writing, and then count and write the materials used so that others can make it as well. So again, providing a little more of a writing opportunity as well as some counting opportunities, which the students still could benefit from. Okay, and then for the parents that come on Friday, they can join us for the construction of the structures, help us with some of the labeling and with the counting so we can get a chance to do that part together. And then we'll leave the structures up so that we can use them on a Monday. For shared reading this week, we're going to go with the Three Little Pigs play, and I'm hoping to kind of do a combination of what the students have written as well as the poem that I had from last week. With so many students away, I switched the shared reading piece to do more of one based on Raz Kids last week, and we'll do the Three Little Pigs one this week. And also really focusing in on sight words during this reading time as well as fluency, because as I read more with the students, I notice that's the part that some of them still find challenging. And I also want to do a bit of a warm-up during math time this week with a little bit of a money tag, which I noticed on Miss Whitting's blog, and so the idea being that they can go together and join together to make different money amounts. So it will also work in with addition and with skip counting. So I'm hoping that that will work in nicely too, and just be a nice little review of money, and also kind of a fun like physical literacy way, which I think would really benefit some of the students as well, because they will get to move around. So we can move around in different ways, and depending on weather, could do both inside as well as possibly outside if we're out for some different collections of pictures, etc.